On this one, I install TCI rear leaf spring kit, get that axle in there. Everything's just for mock-up. And then also 2-inch lowering drop blocks from Speedway in order to get this thing sitting right where I want it. And then I also have to fix a couple more issues that I caused with the front end. So yeah, let's go. For this one's goal, I want to get the car on the ground. I want to check the stance and make sure everything's good. A few things I got to do in order to make that happen. First off, though, these are my wheels. These are 17 by 8 front and 17 by 9 rear. Tire size is 245, 45 R17. I'm running the Mickey Thompson. What are they? The street comps. Fairly inexpensive, and the wheels are kind of expensive for steel wheels, but I just wanted that factory OE look, so I can run the hubcaps, so it just kind of looks like a Survivor type car. The rear, like I said, 17 by 9. It's 275 40 17, so they both come out to be about 26 inches tall. I think they're both at a 0 offset, but like I said, US Wheel Corp. That's where I got those from. But as you can see, they're not mounted to anything whatsoever. I got them on a jack stand. And the way I'm going to mount them up is I got my custom built Quick Performance 9-inch rear end here that I got to throw in there. I took measurements beforehand, and I guess we're going to find out together if I got my measurements correct or not. So I have to get that up in there with the axles and stuff on there. The way I'm going to do that, leaf spring setup. I was debating on going 4-link or leaf spring, but I decided to go leaf spring. This is the TCI setup, and this is not how it comes whatsoever. I basically made my own traction bars, Caltrac style. Got links and stuff from Speedway, 5/16 inch plate. Basically just had to cut and re-weld one tab in order to fit everything inside there, but I think these are going to work out great. Just a nice custom setup there. And then I also had to, one of these, I had to notch out a leaf or something like that. I don't know why I had to do that. I don't remember. Anyway, that's what I had to do in order to make that fit. If you want me to explain more on how I did that, let me know in the comments below. But other than that, this should be a bolt-in heavy-duty leaf spring setup. It basically replaces the old mounts, and it has holes where the rivets are for each mount. Got some U-bolts here, clamps. I'm guessing I'm going to have to do a 2-inch drop spring. 2-inch drop, not spring, 2-inch drop block. That's what those are called, in order to make it get the ride height that I want it to. So yeah, first things first. I've just got the wheels up in there to measure it out. I'm thinking out loud at this point, but I got to get the old brackets out of there, out of the frame. So I'm going to cut and grind all those out. And then I'm going to bolt basically those in, and then I'm going to bolt in the rear end and then put the axles in, and then hopefully bolt everything together. I also have a rear disc brake kit that I got to figure out too. So that's going to go along with it too. Lots to do in order to get this thing on the ground, and the front coilover's in there. So yeah, let's get to it. Cut those brackets out, old brackets, put the new ones in, and get everything set up. So here are the brackets I got to cut out of the way. Like this is the front leaf perch there. I'm going to guess I'm going to have to eliminate this bump steer. I don't know if I have to notch the frame yet or not in order to get the low that I want. I don't know. What does that do? I don't even know. I think it's a body mount maybe. That shouldn't be in my way though, because the axle will be right there. Anyway, and then this is the rear one. So they're basically rivets that hold them in. I'm going to grind them and then just basically knock them out so they're out of the way, because that's exactly where the new bolts have to go, is in through there. What else do I got to get rid of? Oh, so I don't ever plan on running skirts anymore, and I eliminated the front skirt lock there. I have this back skirt lock here. I might take that out, but then there's these tabs here that might interfere with the wheel, so I'm gonna take those out. God, there's a whole plate section up in there. Why did I not notice that before? We might be able to take that out too, or like move it if need be in order to get more tire clearance. But I had those up in there, and we should have plenty. And it's really dirty. Why is it so dirty? I don't even know. Maybe we'll clean that up too. That'll be fun because I love getting dirty. Not. That was a not joke. Yeah, let's get to it. I'm gonna cut those out and then I'll update you when this is all done. Got everything all cleaned up, all the brackets removed. Now I just gotta mount up the other stuff. I also removed these like inner shells, like these held on the skirts. I thought that these were just like bolted on there, but they're apparently just, they're tack welded onto this whole panel here. And then that whole panel, well, that's where that was. So basically took that out because I think I'm gonna need all the tire clearance I can get anyway. And if I have to remake these to fit a little bit more flush, then I will. But for now, I'm gonna work on bolting in the new brackets to hold the new leaves. I know there's a couple holes I gotta drill per the instructions, so I'm gonna get that knocked out right now. I got all the brackets in. A few things to note. You do have to open up the holes just slightly in order to fit the bolts in. The washers that they provide, I don't know if you're supposed to put them here or here. I left them out because they wouldn't fit on top here, and it fits pretty flush inside the bracket itself. And then the directions say, for these back ones, so I'm on the back side here, I'm not sure which one goes on what side. It didn't really specify, but it just said line up the back bolt holes with the back rivets, and then you had to drill these two out. So the pictures that it shows a completely different bracket. They must have revamped it in order to use these ones, but this is basically what I did. Hopefully it works out. It should. I don't know why it wouldn't. If you even had it flipped around, it's only like a 1/2 inch difference on placement, so not really worried about it. It should be pretty good. So yeah, I had to drill out these two holes, open up these two on the front here, open up all these, and then drill out this back one here. You gotta drill a new hole for that. So yeah, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just throw the leaves in and everything like that, and I'm gonna like lift the axle up and over and set it on top that way. So I'm sitting here putting it all together and I completely screwed up. So when I built these, I guess I just didn't mock it up and I just automatically assumed that they went this way, but no, they don't. They don't line up with, they go this way. So that ain't gonna work right there for that to mount up to it. So I gotta cut this off and re-weld it back on in the same position. Idiot. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna knock that out in a minute and then I'll get back to assembly. There we go, cut off, re-welded in the correct direction. I'm an idiot again, but now we can throw them on the car. All right, first problem, trying to get it all just kind of mocked up in here, but I can't, it needs to move further towards me, but it can't because the U-bolt is hitting on the support structure. So I gotta actually cut some of this out in order to make sure, because it has to come this way about 3/8 of an inch more. But I mean, obviously I want to cut more just for wiggle room, I guess. So that's all I got to do is take this thing back out, cut some of this off. Got everything mocked up in place. Not worried about my pinion angle or anything like that. I'm worried about center distance. So that's kind of what I set it for right now. And then these are just loosely in there without the sleeve. So they have some wiggle room when I set it down for the suspension to compress. I got to throw the axles in next, and then the retainer plates, and then the rotors, and then the wheels. And I can already kind of tell like it needs more low. So I did order 2-inch blocks, lowering blocks, to get it a little bit more up in there. But I am curious to see as to what the ride height is on this. So I'm gonna do that right now is just axles, brakes, wheels. Good time to show you the axles. So these are 35 spline. These things are beefy, like super beefy. I'm never gonna break these whatsoever. I'm really excited for those. So yeah, let's throw those in. Slight issue with the brake rotor because I'm running 1/2 inch studs. They didn't really fit. So I had to open them up a little bit. Not a big deal, but they fit now. Just had to drill them out. Another thing, I was gonna like put on the retainer plate and stuff, but then I realized I didn't have a retainer plate, and I thought that this kit came with a retainer plate, and Quick Performance, I either didn't get them or I lost them. I don't know. I ordered some new ones. They're on their way. It shouldn't matter. We're not driving it. We're just mocking it up. I've got the bearings fully seated in the housing. So when I put the wheel on, we'll get a true measurement. I have to drill out that rotor, throw that on, and then we can throw the wheels on. So I got the wheels on. Obviously this is at full droop. So it looks like a 4x4 at the moment. It's kind of dumb. I'm curious as to what it's going to be when it's on the ground, how much those springs compress, but I guarantee I'm going to need those 2-inch drop blocks. I have clearance for, well, not really for days, but man, did I do a good job measuring this custom axle. Let's see if we can see up in here. Hold on. There we go. So you can see the amount of room that we have between the tire and the frame rail and the tire and the body. So when it shoves up in there, we got plenty of room. Same thing on this side. Yeah. And I like that it's a little bit tighter to the frame than it is the body. So if I ever do go a little bit bigger, I'll just like notch the lip off the frame and then re-weld it. And that'll give me a little bit more clearance, and then, you know, plenty of clearance between that and the spring. Yeah, cool. Let's put it on the ground, at least the rear, and then level out the front, see where it sits. Got the thing on the ground. I got some jack stands on the front to set it where I want it sitting. I like where the front end is sitting, not so much the rear. Rear needs to come down. She's a little face down, ass up at the moment. That needs to be adjusted. I was really hoping I would have got those drop blocks by now, but I don't. But definitely a 2-inch drop block is going to help this thing out a ton. I mean, stance, to me, stance is everything. Once that gets nailed, like I can set up the shocks and stuff like that, but yeah, this is pretty sweet. But wait, there's more. Ignore all of this. We're going to talk about that later, but I got the drop block kit in from Speedway, so I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to throw it on the car, and then I want to see how much lower it sits, because that will give me a good idea of where it's going to sit. I'm going to guess it's going to even sit, you know, an inch lower after I get everything in it, because obviously this car is completely stripped right now. So yeah, let's open that up, throw it in there, see where it sits. Drop blocks are in, but I don't know if you can see this, but it's a lot closer up there than it is back there. And I contacted TCI and went over some pictures, and I think that this bracket needs to go on that side and that one needs to come on that side, and they need to be flipped around in order to get it closer in alignment, because I really want that centered, and that bothers me. So I'm gonna give that a shot. I'm gonna switch these around and then see where it sits from there. So yeah, it's starting to tuck wheel pretty good now. Like I said, once you get weight on there, it's probably going to drop it another inch or so. The angle on the camera is a little weird because I got to do like the fisheye thing, but like, trust me, this is looking sweet. Got the front end all back together. Earlier I said, let's not talk about this. My major problem was that my steering rack wouldn't bolt up to the stock location. So I actually made these parts here in order to bump it out. And then I had to cut a huge section out of the frame, notch it out, fill it in, notch out where the joint is, all that. So much work. I didn't film any of it because honestly, I was angry. I was so angry at the amount of work that I had to do. It was a full another like day and a half in order to get that dialed in. But now it has steering. It's sitting right. I still have to make like some end links and a sway bar and stuff like that, but that will come in due time. Yeah, this is, wow. Hold on. Let me step back. Let me not die. Yeah, look at that stance. Sitting pretty. As always, if you guys made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Hit that like, hit the subscribe. Car thing, it's getting to be a car more and more. and it's sitting like where I like it. And I think that once, like I said before, we get some weight on that thing, drop that rear just a little bit more, she's gonna sit like nice and level. And with the coilovers, I'll be able to adjust it so it's like that far off the ground, just dummy low. That's what I want. That's gonna be awesome. Thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.